Welcome to a tutorial on how to tie the Appalachian Search and Rescue Conference's redundant seat harness. There are some variations in how it can be tied. This is a variation as taught by the Mountaineer Area Rescue Group, a member group of the ASRC based in Morgantown, West Virginia. The seat harness is tied with about 25 feet of 1-inch tubular webbing. The length varies depending on the size of the person. In this demo, we'll be using a 20-foot length for our dummy Nemo. The seat harness is considered redundant because each leg and the waist are tied separately. Typically, a carabiner links the crosspiece between the leg loops and a prusik loop connected to a litter. Two types of knots are used to form the seat harness. Figure eights on a bight form the leg loops with a short connecting crosspiece between them. After 3 wraps of webbing around the waist and through the crosspiece, the ends of the webbing are tied with a square knot with an overhand backup knot on both sides. I begin by measuring the initial section of webbing. For Nemo, I found that it's about his arm span. Double this section to make a bight. You'll need to figure out how long this initial section will be for yourself. Once I've got the whole section doubled into a bight, then I'm going to take that end of the bight and measure the first leg loop, about half the circumference of the leg at the top of the thigh. Next, I'm going to add 8 inches because I found that 8 inches is about what a figure 8 knot will take. I'm going to mark the starting part of the knot and tie a figure 8 on a bight, starting with that point where my thumb is. Next, I'm going to take that bight and check it against the thigh again. Make sure it's about half, and then I have a bit, the tag end will reach up to the waist and have enough sufficient to also tie a square knot. From here, I'm going to measure 3 to 4 inches of a cross piece marked with my thumb and measure the second leg and add 8 inches. Now we're going to have to double that to make a bight. And now keeping that spot 3 to 4 inches for the cross piece, I'm going to tie another figure of 8 on a bight. Once I have that figure 8 on a bight completed, I'll check the second leg, make sure that my loop is half the circumference of the leg. Alright, so now this short end is going to reach up to the first leg, and the long end is going to reach up to the waist above the second leg. So now we'll insert the legs into the loops. Once we've got the legs and the loops, we're ready to start the waist wrap. So we're going to wrap the long piece around the waist once, come through the cross piece, wrap around a second time, come back through the cross piece. Now in this case I went the opposite direction from the first time, but you could go the same direction. And then back around. And now we have 2 ends ready to tie a square knot on the side. From this angle you can see we're going to tie a square knot. Check to make sure that the knot actually looks like a square knot. And we'll add an overhand knot as a backup knot to each side of the square knot. We now have 2 figure-8 loops forming the leg loops. We'll stick a carabiner between the cross piece, and then that carabiner will then be attached to a Prusik loop.